to Debt Freedom Life. My name is Brian. In this video, I want to explain to you two aspects of helping you to achieve the inspiration, the motivation, and some keen insight on how to get out of debt. You may be watching this video and just trying to find some direction in your life and in dealing with the debt that you may have, or you may not be in debt, and you just want to get some more information on how to better your finances in your own life and whatnot. So I wanted to explain to you the acronym DEBT. I know a lot of times when we think of debt, we think of debt in negative terms, like you owe, like you're behind on your bills, or you owe money to a friend or a company that you may not have the money up front to pay because of whatever the circumstances you might be going through right now. But we can turn debt around into a positive by making it into a memory tool that will help us remember and even to apply immediately how to get back in control of our personal finances. So we start with the letter D, and the letter D represents deliberate decisions. So in making deliberate decisions, you have to realize that you want to make a line in the sand, and to be able to make a definitive decision on getting yourself out of debt. That's the first, to admit that there is an issue, because if we don't even admit that there's an issue, then it's going to be that much harder to get started down that path that you want to take towards getting out of debt and a direction path. So take out a separate sheet of paper. I encourage you to take out a separate sheet of paper, pen or pencil, and write this down, and to take good notes. On a website I created, it's www.debtfreedomlife.com. You can actually get a free study guide that corresponds with this lesson. And again, that's at debtfreedomlife.com. And in the About page, you can put in your name and your email address, and like I say, you can get a free copy of that study guide. So when making deliberate decisions, you want to be able to figure out where you're at financially. I mean, if you're in debt and you're going through some sleepless nights, you're stressed, frustrated at work, with family because of all of that financial pressure, then make a deliberate decision right away to say enough is enough, and draw that line in the sand, and to say that you want things to get better. That's first. Once you do that, then evaluate yourself. So in the word debt, the letter E in debt represents evaluate yourself. So what you want to do with evaluating yourself, you want to take, and again, I encourage you to write this down, like on a separate sheet of paper. Write down your attitudes, your attitude towards money, your maybe some life circumstances that are either in your control or out of your control, that have caused you to be in this circumstance that you're in now. Because granted, there are life things that we can't control, but a lot of things we can control. We can control our attitudes about how we view money. That can be all interrelated of how we grew up, and a bunch of other life factors. But so evaluate yourself. Take the time to understand what makes you tick, what makes you do what you do when paying your bills, or the money you do receive. How do you see that money? Do you see that money as just a means to just spend, or are you putting that money and managing that money well? And then after you've made a deliberate decision to get out of debt, you've evaluated yourself by, like I said, just writing on a sheet of paper, making mental notes within yourself, or making exterior notes from yourself about why you're in the financial situation that you're in. Then that'll get some thoughts starting to help you understand about yourself and why you do the things that you do financially. So the third piece is the letter B in debt. So you want to believe and budget. So how do you do that? So after you made a deliberate decision to get out of debt and then you've evaluated yourself, this is going to help you believe in yourself, to believe, hey, look, there isn't a chance here that I can get out of debt, because you probably have tried to get out of debt and then a life circumstance or situation happens and you fall right back into debt. So believe in yourself that, hey, look, that you can get out of debt based on making a deliberate decision to get out of debt in the first place, and then evaluate yourself, understand why you're in debt, and your own personal attitudes and mindsets about debt. And then budget. So a lot of times we think of the word budget in a negative sense. Budget doesn't have to be in a negative sense. All budget is actually a window to a budget is a window to see how you spend your money, and to make the budget better a budget is actually an allocation of your money to a specific source, is a specific amount to a specific source and to a specific thing. So once you do that, you already know where your money is going to be going. Instead, because a lot of people, they don't know where their money is going. At the end of the month, they're thinking, where did all my money go? But if you have a budget in place, then you know exactly where your money is going. And of course, the budget, you can always, the budget is a constant working document, a live document. You can always, adjust it as necessary as your life goes on and as your life circumstances fluctuate and whatnot. So after you made deliberate decisions, you've evaluated yourself, and you believe in yourself, and you've set up that budget, you can go into, and then what you want to do is take massive action. Because you can go, and I encourage you to go through each piece here carefully. Don't continue unless you have completed the each step. Because if you don't complete the first step, then you can't really evaluate yourself correctly. So, and then and so forth. So the best thing to do is just take action, because without taking action, then you won't get out of debt. You gotta take immediate action while you have that initial inspiration, motivation to do so. There may be people that say, oh, you can't get out of debt, or there may be some life factors that seem practically impossible, but it's not. The best thing to do regarding taking massive action is to find a trusted friend or a trusted friend or family member that you trust, and ask them to help keep you accountable for your budget, help keep you accountable for your goal of getting out of debt. Because when you have other people around you supporting you, it's that much better, and it encourages you to fulfill your budget plan, and it helps you by having an accountability person in your life to help, and it helps you with each of these areas, and you can show them what you wrote down for each of these areas as well too. So after taking massive action, there's the financial planning process. Now this financial planning process, I know this may be kind of hard to read, but the financial planning process, what you would do is on a separate sheet of paper or on your notes, write down the word financial planning process, and then draw a circle around it. So the first step in the financial planning process is to determine your current financial situation. Figure out why you're in the financial predicament that you're in. By doing that, the initial 4 steps will help you determine what your financial situation is already. especially the E in debt. When you have evaluated yourself thoroughly, you understand the attitudes and the influencing factors in your life um, that cause you to do what you do with your money. That helps you to determine your financial situation. Number two is determine your financial goals. Write down goals. I know we all have heard about writing down goals, but it's a discipline. It's a discipline to sit down and write out your goals. But when you write your goals, that helps you to see what you've been wanting to do your whole life, or what you have been wanting to do recently. But write down your financial goals. Could be your short-term goals, mid-term, and long-term goals. Could be anything. Could be I want to pay off. You may have a new car or even a used car that you owe some money on. Write out a goal that to pay that car off in such and such time frame, and write down the specific day and be specific about your goals. They have to be. You probably have heard the acronym SMART. They have to be specific, measurable, attainable, and targeted goals. And then that way that helps you that gives direction to your goals. And then after you determine your financial goals, identify courses of action. Like how are you going to get to those goals? Write out a plan of action. Write out your short-term goals, those goals that you'll want to achieve within a couple weeks to a month, and then midterm, within the next month, 2 months, 6 months, and then long-term, those within a year and beyond. And then number 4, evaluate alternative plans of action. So after you have identified alternate courses of action, go ahead and then evaluate those courses of action to make sure that they fit within your circumstances right now. Because say you want to pay your car off in the next year, but you still owe $10,000-$15,000 on it. That may not be attainable at this time, but just be realistic about your financial goals. You can find ways to fulfill that goal of paying off that much money, but you may have to streamline that, not necessarily lower that goal, but find reasonable means to attain that financial goal. And then number 5 is create and develop an action plan. Basically, kind of falls in line with evaluating alternate sources or evaluate alternative courses of action. But then once you've evaluated those alternative means, go ahead and then create and develop an action plan, a financial action plan. And then finally, evaluate the results and adjust as necessary, kind of like what we were just talking about. Go ahead and evaluate your financial action plan to see how it's working for you. If you see that you're doing well, great. If not, then make some adjustments where you see, based on your financial circumstances, how you can get where you want to go financially within the specific amount of time that you've allocated yourself to. So this financial planning process, like I said, can be used on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and it really does come in useful. I do have an article that I wrote based on the debt acronym memory tool and the financial planning process on my website. It's at www.debtfreedomlife.com, and in the homepage there's a pop-up. You can include your name and your email address, and you can get a free study guide and this video as well too that corresponds with the study guide. So the study guide is a means to immediately help you engage and provides quality content to help you in your goal of becoming debt-free. And by applying these principles and these insights for your life. Because in the end, what I would like to see for you is for you to live a life that you're meant to live, and to live a debt-free life. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and leave a like. Thank you.